Listen, listen. This Victor Conte, he's given his expertise now.
Supplements out there that are contaminated, but let me tell you what I think is more likely.
What's more likely?
When you make underground anabolic steroids, when you make testosterone or nandrolone or ostarine or clomiphene, any of these drugs that these boxers are testing positive for, these are not coming from an Upjohn formulated pharmaceutical where you can buy them at CVS or Walgreens, okay?
You heard him? Let's do a game. Let's play a game. Let's play a game. Call yes or no. We're about to go. We're about to get off soon. Just stay with me. I got something for you. Did y'all hear what Victor Conte just said? Yes or no? We're going to play a game. Yes or no? Did y'all hear him? I see people engaging about other things in the chat. Stay with us now. Did y'all hear what Victor Conte said about what he thought that was most likely? I see you, GM. He said 4 banned substances. He said 4 that are not likely to be sold in a pharmacy where the ingredients of these 4 performance enhancement drugs that are on the banned substance list, they're not going to be in any of these supplements that's sold over the counter. He named 4 of them. Listen again.
You make underground, it's not going to happen. They have pretty much cleaned up. I'm not going to say there are
Listen to the 4
supplements out there that are contaminated, but let me tell you what I think is more likely. When you make underground anabolic steroids, when you make testosterone or nandrolone or ostarine or clomiphene, any of these drugs that these boxers are testing positive for, these are not coming from an Upjohn formulated pharmaceutical where you can buy them at CVS or Walgreens, okay? They're being made in an underground basement lab. And
let's play a game called yes or no. Did Victor Conte say that these 4 banned substances, ostarine, testosterone, clomiphene, nandrolone, did he say they can never be injected or mixed in the ingredients of supplements that can be purchased over the counter at CVS or Walgreens because they're made in the underground lab? Is that what he said? Yes or no? Come on, we got to play a game. That's what the thumbnail said, yes or no. Is that what he said? I just want to make sure we cool. I want to make sure we clear. I want to make sure we on the same page. He said they have to be made, cooked up in the basement. Good, I'm glad y'all all said yes in the chat. There's one of those drugs in particular. No, not the clomiphene that Connor Ben tested positive for. No, not that. Not the ostarine that Ryan Garcia tested positive for. No, not that. It was another substance that he said. Let me see if we on the same page. Hold on, let me see.
These are not coming from an ostarine or clomiphene. Any of these, you make underground anabolic steroids. When you make testosterone or nandrolone or
did he say nandrolone? Hey, Big Supreme, you know where I'm going with this, don't you, brother? Did he say nandrolone got to be cooked up underground? Is that what he said? I just want to make sure I heard him right. I don't want to put no words in that man's mouth. Big Supreme, did he say nandrolone? I'm just asking a question, Creole. I'm just asking. It's just a yes or no. All things. Can I get a yes or no from somebody? Please help me. Did he say nandrolone can be cooked in a basement, not in a supplement that you buy over the counter at CVS and GMC or Walgreens? That ain't gonna be in there. That's got to be cooked up in the basement. Did he say nandrolone? Everybody in the chat is saying yes. Come on, Creole. Somebody said play it again. I'm gonna play it one more again, Creole. I want to know if he said nandrolone, because that's what it sounded like he said to me. Hola in the chat. I see you.
Then he can possibly receive what they call a no fault or negligence ruling, meaning he proved there was no intent to cheat.
I think he said nandrolone.
It doesn't say that it's got ostarine on the label, and therefore that will exonerate him. My guess is that's not going to happen.
What?
They have pretty much cleaned up. I'm not going to say there are not supplements out there that are contaminated, but let me tell you what I think.
Name them 4 drugs again.
When you make underground anabolic steroids,
okay,
you make testosterone or nandrolone or ostarine or clomiphene, any of these drugs that these boxers are testing positive for,
yeah,
these are not coming from an Upjohn formulated pharmaceutical that where you can buy them at CVS or Walgreens. Okay?
How you get it?
They're being made in an underground basement lab.
They're being made in an underground basement lab. So he did say nandrolone. That's what I thought I heard him say. I knew I wasn't. Listen, I can hear better than I can see. I thought I heard him say nandrolone. Nandrolone is made in a basement. In a basement lab. Nandrolone, we heard, or noradandrostone. We heard those terms before. Didn't we, y'all? Did we? All right. I'm going to see. I want to make sure we on the same. Hey, I want to make sure we on the same. Noradandrostone, which is in the family of nandrolone. They're in the same family. He said it. He said nandrolone. Let me pull up something that I want to show you all to make sure we're on the same page. Okay, hold on. I got something for you. You talking about this? Hold up. Is he talking? Look, listen now. I want to ask the question. Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes or no? This is a game called yes or no. Is he talking about? He talking about this? He talking about when Andre Berto tested positive? Let me see if I can turn it this way. I want everybody to see this. I just want to know if that's what he talking about. He talking about this GM? Mr. Vegas. Big Supremacist. He talking about this? When Andre Berto tested positive? Did we talk about? Berto tested positive for the steroid. That what he talking about? That's underlined? He talking about, is he talking about that? Well, when? Who reported? Oh, Dan Raphael reported on this. The same one that leaked the paperwork from VADA. The same one that got that tip. Remember? He got the tip in his hotel room. Remember he said that yesterday? Dan Raphael reported on this. Dan Raphael did, right? That him? In 2012. Okay. Who was in his camp when that happened? Let's see what Dan Raphael said in his article in 2012. That same article. Who was in Andre Berto's camp when he tested positive for that? Because he said, Victor Conte said nandrolone is cooked up in the basement lab. That's what he said. It's not in the supplements. Y'all told me he said that. Y'all said yes. That's what he said. It's not cooked up in. It's not injected in supplements. Y'all said it, you know. Victor Conte said it was in the lab. So I gotta find that article. Here we go, right here. This it right here. Here it go, right here. Read the first sentence. Berto has had Victor Conte. You see that? In his training camp for this fight. Wait a minute. Hold up. Let me make sure I'm processing this correctly. Victor Conte was hired by Andre Berto in 2011 or 2012 to work with him for his fight. Andre Berto tested positive from VADA for a banned substance known in the family of nandrolone. But Victor Conte just said in an interview earlier today that nandrolone, well, it can't be traces of nandrolone in supplements that you can buy at GMC or CVS or Walgreens, right? He said it has to be cooked up and made in the basement lab. But Andre Berto tested positive for that same substance of nandrolone while he was in the SNAP program with Victor Conte. Now, Conte said that he wasn't with him at the time. Now, even though Dan Raphael said right here, even though Dan said in this article that Berto hired him for this camp. But Victor Conte, he pushed back and he tweeted. And this is what he said. Here it go right here. See, you can't listen. Ain't nothing gonna fly over my head. Let's read this part. Y'all see that second paragraph? Y'all see it, don't you? Those are the words of Victor Conte. Victor Conte says this in response to Andre Berto testing positive for nandrolone. He said, Andre Berto's positive test has absolutely nothing to do with me or any supplements I provided. Likely trace contamination, Conte tweeted. Andre has admitted to taking supplements other than what I provided without my knowledge. Apparently, something was contaminated. Well, wait a minute, Victor. In 2012, May of 2012, you said that it was likely trace contamination because Andre admitted to taking supplements other than what you provided for him without your knowledge. And you said that it was likely trace contamination. Here it go right here. In 2012, it was trace contamination when Andre Berto tested positive. But when you went on TMZ Sports today, Victor Conte, you said that nandrolone can't be in any supplements. It can only be made in a basement lab. Come on and talk to me, y'all. Let's play a game called Yes or No. Do y'all understand what I'm saying? Yes or no? Yes or no? Come on, chat. Let's engage. Y'all know I do my homework. Let's engage. Yes or no? Just yes or no. I don't want to keep you no longer than I've already have. Do y'all understand what I just said? Yes or no? Thank you, Maribel and Buddy Clark and Mr. Vegas. Thank you, Walter and Byron. Thank you, Creole. So Victor Conte can go on TMZ Sports in May of 2024 and say nandrolone cannot be injected in those supplements. So it can't be Ryan Garcia is getting anything over the counter that's going to make him test positive. No, it's nandrolone is made in a basement lab, cooked up. You got to cook it up. You got to include it in the ingredients. You can't put it in a supplement. That's what Victor said. That's what Victor said. Y'all heard him. But when Andre Berto, a member of the SNAP program, tested positive for it, he said it was likely trace contamination. So why can't it be trace contamination for Ryan Garcia? Hold on, stay right there. I got something else I want to show you. Because somebody else that was in Victor Conte's SNAP program tested positive, Big Supreme, for nandrolone. I'm going to show it to you right now because Jeff Novitzky put it out in the Netflix documentary. Y'all remember that? Y'all remember the Netflix documentary, right? Y'all remember this? He had Barry Bonds testing where Victor Conte went to a private lab and paid for the urine to be tested of Barry Bonds when he was on Victor Conte's SNAP program in 2001. Y'all remember that? In 2002. Y'all remember that? You don't? Here it go right here. You see that? Yeah. That's the source, the FBI agent Jeff Nowitzki, Barry Bonds drug test via the BALCO lab when he was with Victor Conte. Y'all see I got an arrow next to it. What that say? Nandrolone, positive. That's when Barry Bonds tested positive for nandrolone. So you mean to tell me Barry Bonds, who was with BALCO lab, 2002, with Victor Conte, you mean to tell me Andre Berto in 2012, nearly 7 years, 2005 plus 7 is 2012. Okay, that's when Victor Conte said he became an advocate in clean boxing. He said in 2005. Okay, cool. But in 2012, 7 years after you became an advocate, Victor, Andre Berto tested positive, and so did Barry Bonds in 2002 for nandrolone. But yet on TMZ Sports, though, he said they got to be cooked up in the lab, in the basement lab. But in 2012, when Andre Berto tested positive for it, you said in an article and in a tweet, that's likely contamination. Andre admitted to me that he was taking supplements from somewhere else that ain't had nothing to do with me without my knowledge. So it sounded like those supplements was contaminated. But now Ryan Garcia can't get the same due process. Maybe his supplements was. But you know what's crazy? That's a contradiction, Victor Conte. First, in 2012, you said nandrolone can be traced and contaminated in the supplement. But in TMZ Sports, now that Ryan Garcia tested positive and he beat Devin Haney, all of a sudden now, it has to be cooked up in the lab. Which one is it? Was it cooked up in the lab when Barry Bonds tested positive for it? That test say positive with the circle around it. That Barry Bonds. They always with Victor Conte. Don't get mad at me. Barry Bonds was with Victor Conte when he tested positive. Andre Berto, Victor Conte, when he tested positive. Y'all saw what Dan Raphael said in his report. He said, in his report, he said, Andre Berto hired Victor Conte for this camp. That's what Dan Raphael said in 2012. We need answers. So which one is it? Did Ryan Garcia get this Ostarine from a basement lab? Which Victor Conte saying in 2024, you can get it from a basement lab now. Or is it likely trace contamination like it was when Victor Conte said it was for nandrolone for Andre Berto when he tested positive in the snack program in 2012? Which one is it? Because we need Ryan Garcia to be found innocent or guilty. Now, if it's likely trace contamination like it was for Berto in 2012 with nandrolone in these supplements, then Ryan Garcia possibly could have ingested a supplement that had trace contamination, according to Victor Conte's theory 12 years ago. But if we listen to Victor Conte now in 2024 from TMZ Sports, he's basically saying it's impossible for clomiphene and testosterone and nandrolone and what's the name of the thing that Orestyle, whatever it's called, that Ryan Garcia tested positive for. It's impossible for it to have any trace contamination because they don't put that in supplements. The only way that can happen is in the basement lab. The basement lab. So, if it is true what Victor Conte said about Berto in 2012, that what he tested positive for was trace contamination, then that means there's a possibility that Ryan Garcia tested positive for Orestine because of trace contamination. But if we believe what Victor Conte's saying today, that those type of drugs, Orestine, clomiphene, nandrolone, and test, can only be made in the lab, then that raises suspicion of Victor Conte because Barry Bonds tested positive for nandrolone while he was with Victor Conte. Andre Berto, he tested for it while he was with Victor Conte. So which one is it, Victor? Because if you say it's the thing that you said today to prove that Ryan is guilty, then you guilty too. You guilty what happened with Victor? I mean, not Victor, Andre Berto, and you guilty of Barry Bonds. What happened with Barry Bonds? Or if it's true what you said 12 years ago, trying to defend Andre Berto, that trace contamination did exist, then guess what? Ryan Garcia possibly may have ingested supplements that were contaminated. Let's play a game called Yes or No. Do y'all understand what I'm saying? Yes or no?